It's a little bit of both, but I'm going to skew positive. I mean, this whole season to me was about trying to figure out if we could find a solution at the quarterback position. And Shedeur Sanders was the guy that I liked a great deal coming out of college. And I thought, when we were at the combine, I thought he was going to be, the number 2 pick or go in the top 5 in the NFL draft. And we all know that he had his draft day fall, but the things that you saw on tape, the ball placement, the ability and willingness to stand in the pocket and deliver throws with defenders bearing down on you, the ability to make plays in and out of structure. And like I said, that ball placement that not only allows him to make very tight window throws, but also promotes yards after the catch.
Nathan Zegura just went viral after calling Shedeur Sanders' performance historic on Cleveland radio. And what he revealed about Kevin Stefanski's reaction behind the scenes has the entire NFL world shook. After Shedeur threw for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Titans, Zagura, a longtime Browns analyst, admitted on air that Shedeur was the guy that I liked a great deal coming out of college and thought he'd be the number 2 pick or go in the top 5 before his mysterious draft day fall. But here's the explosive part that has everyone talking. Zagura revealed that Shedeur faced a 63% pressure rate, the highest any quarterback has faced all season, got hit 14 times, dealt with 1 million offensive line injuries, bad weather, and 3 different pass catchers getting injured, yet still put up almost 400 yards of production. Zagura called it insane and compared Shedeur to Joe Burrow, saying he's the only other rookie that's ever done that, and declared this is legit while praising Shedeur for being hit 14 times and continued to make plays from the pocket. The analyst even pushed back on critics, saying it's just the Titans, by pointing out their defense was tougher than people think and that Shedeur showed sophisticated stuff with his eyes manipulating safeties. But the most shocking revelation? Zagura admitted the Browns organization was wrong about how long it took to start Shedeur, saying people were not as pleased with how long it took to get him on the field, essentially calling out Stefanski's decision-making while praising a 5th-round pick as the franchise's salvation.
Ways I really think you can measure quarterbacks. Great to be able to make plays out of structure, but when everything's good, you've got to be really good. He averaged nearly 12 yards an attempt, had a rating of 150. Now, he was pressured 63% of the time. That was one of the highest pressure rates all season for any quarterback that he faced, and handled that, I thought, very well. And not only that, he was hit 14 times. So go back to that Pittsburgh game. Dylan Gabriel was hit 17 times in that one. That was the most a quarterback had been hit in the NFL. He got hit 14 times in this game and continued to make plays from the pocket. I was very impressed with Shedeur Sanders, and I think we should all be very encouraged by what we saw there, and now you're going to have 3 games.
Look, I need you to understand something right now. What Nathan Zegura just revealed on Cleveland radio is about to change the entire narrative around Shedeur Sanders and expose just how wrong the Browns coaching staff has been all season long. Nathan Zegura is not some random podcaster or hot take artist. He's a respected Browns analyst who's been around this organization for years. He knows the players, he knows the coaches, he knows what's happening behind closed doors. So when he comes on the radio and starts dropping bombs about Shedeur Sanders, you better believe people are paying attention. Let me start from the beginning, because this interview is loaded with information that's going to make you furious about how Shedeur has been treated. When the host asks Nathan where he stands on the game, excited by Shedeur's performance or dejected by another loss, Nathan's response was telling. He said, "It's a little bit of both, but I'm going to ski positive. I mean, this whole season to me was about trying to figure out if we could find a solution at the quarterback position, and Shedeur Sanders was the guy that I liked a great deal coming out of college." The guy that I liked a great deal. Nathan Zegura is admitting on Cleveland radio that he's been a Shedeur believer from day one. This isn't some bandwagon jump. Nathan has been watching Shedeur since college and recognized the talent. But then Nathan dropped this bomb that's going to make you question everything about the draft process. I thought, when we were at the combine, I thought he was going to be the number 2 pick or go in the top 5 in the NFL draft, and we all know that he had his draft day fall. Y'all, Nathan Zegura thought Shedeur Sanders would be a top 5 pick. Not just first round, top 5. And he's not alone. Anyone who actually watched Shedeur play knew he had that level of talent. But then Nathan started breaking down why Shedeur is so special, and this is where it gets really interesting. He said, the things that you saw on tape, the ball placement, the ability and willingness to stand in the pocket and deliver throws with defenders bearing down on you, the ability to make plays in and out of structure, and that ball placement that not only allows him to make very tight window throws, but also promotes yards after the catch. Let me break down what Nathan just said because this is crucial. Ball placement. Shedeur doesn't just complete passes, he puts the ball in perfect spots. Pocket presence. He's willing to stand tall and deliver even when defenders are coming. Playmaking in and out of structure. And his accuracy allows receivers to catch and run. Those are franchise quarterback traits. Those are the things that you can't teach. And Nathan Zegura recognized them in college, recognized them at the combine, and is now seeing them validated at the NFL level. But here's where Nathan's analysis gets really powerful. He started talking about Shedeur's development and improvement week to week. Nathan said, the thing that I'm the most excited about with Shedeur Sanders is you're seeing every week him take something from the previous week's game, decide that that's the point of emphasis, that's what I'm working on, and then apply it. That's not just talent. That's intelligence. That's work ethic. That's a quarterback who studies film, identifies weaknesses, and fixes them. That's what elite quarterbacks do. Nathan continued, and in this game, they wanted him to rip the ball to the middle of the field with a little more anticipation, a little more confidence, a little more on time and in rhythm. And he did that from a clean pocket. The coaching staff told Shedeur to work on throwing to the middle of the field with more anticipation, and he went out and did it. That's coachability. That's taking instruction and applying it immediately. But then Nathan dropped this statistics that's going to blow your mind. He said he averaged nearly 12 yards an attempt, had a rating of 150. 12 yards per attempt? That's elite. That's MVP level efficiency. And a 150 rating? That's perfect quarterback play.
Nathan is telling Browns fans, telling the world that they should be encouraged by Shedeur Sanders. This isn't false hope, this is real. And then Nathan put Shedeur's performance in historical context. He said it was a historic game in terms of the overall output. The only other rookie that's ever done that was Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Nathan Zegura just compared Shedeur Sanders to Joe Burrow. The same Joe Burrow who's now one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL? That's the only other rookie who's put up these numbers. But Nathan wasn't done. He added, he's the first rookie since Aaron Rodgers in 2000 to have 4 or more plays of 50-plus yards in his first 3 starts. Aaron Rodgers, another elite Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. Shedeur is in the company of Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers in his first 3 starts. And then Nathan said the words that should make every Browns fan excited about the future. This is legit, and I'm excited. This is legit. Nathan Zegura is telling you that what you're seeing from Shedeur Sanders is real. This isn't a fluke. This isn't garbage time. This is a legitimate franchise quarterback emerging. Nathan continued, I know he needed time to develop, and he got that, and he's put in the work. Kevin Stefanski's putting a lot of extra work with him as well, and it's paying off. To me, that's the takeaway from this game. Now, Nathan is being diplomatic here by crediting Stefanski for working with Shedeur, but we know the truth. Stefanski buried Shedeur on the depth chart for way too long. But I'll get to that in a minute. First, let me tell you about what the other host said, because it's going to make you even more impressed with Shedeur's performance. The host said, for me, it's the amount that he overcame in that game. Not only the bad weather, you had 1 million offensive line injuries. 3 different pass catchers ended up getting injured in that game. You mentioned the pressure rate that was the highest any quarterback has faced this year. I don't know that people quite understand the full context of that to then put up almost 400 yards of production. It's insane. It's insane. The host is calling Shedeur's performance insane when you consider all the adversity. Bad weather conditions, multiple offensive line injuries during the game, 3 different pass catchers getting injured in the game, highest pressure rate of any quarterback this year, got hit 14 times. And despite all of that, Shedeur put up almost 400 yards of production. That's not just impressive, that's elite. That's franchise quarterback play. But here's where Nathan Zegura really went to bat for Shedeur Sanders, because the host brought up the criticism that it's just this bad Titans team, and Nathan shut that down. The host asked, "We got a lot of response back to some of this, and the same response keeps coming up. It's like, oh, but it's just this bad Titans team." What would you say to somebody that has that response? And Nathan's response was perfect. He said, look at what Sam Darnold did against them. Look at how they played teams in the last month of the season. This wasn't a terrible defense by any stretch of the imagination. It's one that can heat up quarterbacks. That's where they were top half of the league. This wasn't a bottom of the league defense. Nathan is telling the haters that the Titans' defense is actually good.
Y'all, Nathan Zegura just broke down how Shedeur used his eyes to manipulate the safety. That's not rookie stuff. That's elite quarterback play. That's the kind of thing Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow do, and Shedeur is doing it in his third start. Nathan said it himself. That's sophisticated stuff. But then Nathan said something that's going to make you furious about how long it took for Shedeur to get on the field. He said, and he had a lot to learn about the mechanics of being an NFL quarterback. And I think that's why people were not as pleased with how long it took to get him on the field. People were not as pleased with how long it took? Nathan Zegura, a Browns analyst with inside access, just admitted that there was frustration about how long the coaching staff waited to start Shedeur Sanders. He tried to justify it by saying Shedeur needed to learn things like plays in the huddle that he hadn't done before. But then Nathan immediately gave Shedeur credit for his work ethic. He said, and he has done a great job, and I'll give him a lot of credit. He has put in a ton of work since at the whole time, but especially since he's been the starter, to make sure that he's improving the things that need to be improved. Shedeur has been putting in extra work since being named the starter. He's not relying on talent alone. He's grinding to improve every single week. And then Nathan said something that should give Browns fans not just hope, but belief. He said, Shedeur Sanders gives you not just hope, like there should be a little bit of belief as well that, okay, maybe we have found our way out of this here. And then to do it with a 5th round pick, you start to think about what that could mean for the next 3 years. That could be massive for this franchise. Not just hope, belief. Nathan Zegura is telling Browns fans to believe in Shedeur Sanders. This isn't wishful thinking anymore. This is a legitimate franchise quarterback who fell to the 5th round. And Nathan's right about what this means financially. If Shedeur is the answer at quarterback and you got him in the 5th round, you have 3 years of a cheap rookie contract to build a championship roster around him. That's massive for the franchise. The host asked Nathan what he needs to see in the final 4 games to make the decision about rolling forward with Shedeur, and Nathan's response was simple. I mean, if I keep seeing what I saw in this game, I think that answers it. If Shedeur keeps playing like this, the decision is made. He's the franchise quarterback.
Nathan even broke down how versatile Fannin is, saying he lines up wide, he lines up in the slot, he lines up as an inline tight end, he lines up on a wing, he lines up in the backfield. He's doing everything. That's a playmaker, and Shedeur knows how to get him the ball. But here's the most impressive stat Nathan dropped about this rookie class. He said, this rookie class has an opportunity, especially we know Yannick to be the defensive rookie of the year. Sampson certainly looks like a very good role player. Mason Graham is playing very well. And now you've got Shedeur. This rookie class has a chance to be really transformational. The Browns might have hit on multiple rookies in this class, and Shedeur could be the crown jewel. Now, I know some people are going to bring up the 2-point conversion decision where Shedeur wasn't on the field, and Nathan addressed that too. When asked about it, Nathan was diplomatic, but you could tell he wasn't thrilled with the call. He said, it's hard to get upset with a decision when you watch the All-22 and you know that had the player executed the play properly in the way that it was practiced, it was easy. Nathan is saying the play should have worked if Quinshon Judkins had executed it correctly. But then Nathan added this crucial statement. That being said, In the moment, and certainly now, Shedeur is red hot, and I would have liked to see him be involved in that play. I would have liked to see him be involved. Even Nathan Zegura, who's trying to be fair to the coaching staff, admits he wanted Shedeur in on that play because Shedeur was red hot and had driven down the field twice to give the Browns a chance to tie. Nathan explained that the Wildcat play was something they'd been setting up all year, but then he made this point. I understand people who want Shedeur out there because he was red hot and driven me down the field for a 60-yard touchdown drive and then an 80-yard touchdown drive to give you that opportunity. 60-yard TD drive, 80-yard TD drive, back to back, and you take him off the field for the most important play of the game? That's the decision that has people questioning Kevin Stefanski. That's the decision that has people wondering if there's still an agenda against Shedeur. But you know what? Shedeur Sanders doesn't need to worry about any of that. Because Nathan Zegura, a respected Browns analyst, just went on Cleveland radio and declared that Shedeur's performance was historic, compared him to Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers, said he should have been a top 5 pick, and told Browns fans to have belief, not just hope. That's validation. That's vindication. That's proof that everyone who supported Shedeur from the beginning was right. So here's my question for all of you. When a respected Browns analyst like Nathan Zegura admits on the radio that people were not as pleased with how long it took to get Shedeur on the field and then calls his performance historic, doesn't that prove the coaching staff made a massive mistake by burying him on the depth chart for so long? And if Shedeur keeps playing like this against playoff teams in December, how can anyone still question whether he's a franchise quarterback? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this Nathan Zegura interview is loaded with revelations that the Browns media is finally starting to admit what we've been saying all along. And if you think Shedeur Sanders just proved he should have been a top 5 pick like Nathan Zegura believed, smash that subscribe button because we're going to keep highlighting every analyst who admits they were wrong about this generational talent. The truth is coming out and we're here for all of it. Let's go!